What are the best neighborhoods to move to in Nashville, Tennessee? Neighborhoods or suburbs? Well, some new data just came out from niche.com, and they're listing the top of the top, the best places to live in the Nashville, Tennessee area. As you know, Nashville, Tennessee is booming. There's about 2 million people that live in the Nashville metro area. That includes Nashville and then down south to Franklin, Tennessee. So in that ecosystem, about 2 million people are living in the area, and more are moving every day. We lead a local real estate team, and every single day we get touch points and texts from people moving here from California, Chicago, New York, Atlanta, Florida, all over the US. People are moving here, and with good reason. But if you are thinking about moving here, the process can be a little overwhelming because Nashville is such a large area. Where do you even begin to start? So today, with the help of niche.com, we're going to take a look at the best of the best in Nashville, Tennessee. Let's get started. Coming in at number 9 is Belle Meade. Belle Meade is a suburb south of the city with a population of about 3,000 people. Niche gives Belle Meade an overall A-. A for crime and safety, A for families, B for public schools. You'll note a lot of people who live in Belle Meade do send their children to private schools, and B for nightlife, C- for diversity. As you can see here, looking around the homes in Belle Meade is known for having some of the most expensive upscale homes in the Nashville area. The median home value is just over $2 million. They're large, gorgeous estates with a lot of land. People tend to like Belle Meade because they're not too close to the neighbors, and also there's very strict zoning in place. So homes are very well taken care of. There's very top architectural review boards. So residents there also tend to lean a little conservative. It is definitely some of the most pricey real estate close to the city of Nashville. The number 8 best suburb to live in the Nashville, Tennessee area is Hendersonville. Hendersonville is northeast of Nashville, has a population of just over 62,000. Henderson has an overall A- niche grade. It gets A for public schools. You'll note that Henderson public schools are highly rated. Henderson gets a B for housing, A- for families, B- for crime and safety. The median home value for Hendersonville is under $400,000. I will say that's very low. I don't know where niche.com got their data, but the prices definitely are not $400,000, but that's the number Niche gave, so that's the number we're going to report. Henderson is located on Old Hickory Lake. That's a big bonus. It's known as the City by the Lake and has 26 miles of shoreline on the lake. You should know though, lake homes are not cheap. It's $1 million really just to get started in the door, and it goes all the way up. Coming in at number 7 for the top neighborhood or suburb to live in the Nashville, Tennessee area is Oak Hill. I love Oak Hill. Oak Hill gets an A from Niche. It has a population of just under 5,000 people. A- for families. I think that is low and unfair, but that is the grade by Niche. B for nightlife. That's no surprise because this is a little nice, sleepy suburb, and I mean that as a compliment. Not a lot happens there after 11 o'clock at night. B- for public schools. This again is a very nice section of Nashville, literally 12 minutes to the heart of the city. If you look at the map here, you will see it has an excellent location, close to everything, but it does lie within the Davidson County Public School District, which tends to have lower scores. So that's why we're seeing that somewhat negative rating for public schools. A lot of people in Oak Hill send their kids to private schools. As far as real estate, the median home value is $1,085,000. Most people own their home in Oak Hill. There are very few rentals in Oak Hill, but as we're driving around and showing you video of homes in the area, you can see it's absolutely outstanding real estate. The number 6 best city or suburb to live in the Nashville, Tennessee area is Forest Hills. Forest Hills is right next door to Oak Hill, which came in number 7. A lot of people tend to think that this is the same area, and they are very similar in neighborhood feel. Forest Hills gets an overall A for a Niche grade, B- for public schools, B for housing, A for families, and C for diversity. Forest Hills is a suburb of Nashville and has a population of about 5,000. The bonus with Forest Hills is there are a ton of parks in Forest Hills. If you look here on the map, Forest Hills actually is bordered by Percy Warner Park on the west, which is absolutely gorgeous. The real estate though is pricey. The median home value in Forest Hills is $1,142,000. Very few rentals in Forest Hills. These are gorgeous estates with land. We don't tend to see a ton of new builds or new construction, And we also tend to see people that buy here and stay put. So there's not a ton of movement in the Forest Hills area. If you find a good home, chances are it will be your forever home and you will never move. Overall, Forest Hills was ranked the number 12, the best suburb to live in all of Tennessee, not just Nashville. So take note of that for Forest Hills. Number 5 best suburb to live in is Thompson Station. Thompson Station is south of Franklin. It's a smaller suburb with a population of around 7,800 people. It definitely has a more rural feel. Most people own their homes in Thompson Station. As far as home values, the median home value is around $600,000. Again, that's very low. I question where Niche got a lot of their data because it is very tough to find a great home in Thompson Station for $600,000, but that's what the data shows. Niche gives it an A+ for public schools and an A+ for families. The biggest thing that I think you need to know is that Thompson Station is really far south of the city of Nashville. It's actually south of Franklin. So that's really important for you to consider. You may like the numbers and all the data, but it is a hike to get to Nashville and to get to the airport. So if you have a remote job that allows you not having to really go anywhere, that should be a location that you would look at, but it's further south and it's hard to get anywhere fast because that's where our bottleneck of traffic is happening, is really from the south heading north. So just a point to consider if you're thinking about that area. Number 4 is Mount Juliet. Mount Juliet is north and east of the city of Nashville, Tennessee. Niche gives Mount Juliet an A. About 40,000 people live in Mount Juliet. Niche gives Mount Juliet an A- on jobs, B for diversity, and B for crime and safety. I would say one of the advantages of Mount Juliet is that you get a lot of house for your money. They have a lot of new construction that is reasonably priced in Mount Juliet, but you need to know that they're going to keep building. So if you look at the area of Mount Juliet from, say, the bird's eye view or an aerial, you'll see a lot of vacant farmland. So the only, I would say, long-term concern that I may have about Mount Juliet is that you're going to be up against builders for a very long time, because you buy your home, you sit there for 5 years. Well, in 5 years, a builder's building a brand new section not too far from you. So just points to consider if you are thinking about Mount Juliet. The 3rd best suburb or neighborhood to live in the Nashville, Tennessee area is Franklin. We love Franklin. Everyone on our team really helps a lot of families move to and from Franklin, Tennessee. They end up at Franklin for good reason. Franklin has a super charming downtown, amazing homes in lots of different price points, great public schools, and of course there's just so many things to do. If you take a look at the map, Franklin is south of Nashville, just off of 65, which is a major north-south route. Niche gives Franklin an A+ and an A in almost every single category, most notably A+ for public schools. Franklin is in the Williamson County School District, which is absolutely off the charts. They do give it B- for housing, and I think that's primarily just because Franklin, like Brentwood and other areas around Nashville, Tennessee, the homes do tend to get a little bit pricier. So you definitely get what you're paying for when you buy in Franklin, Tennessee, but there are no fire sales going on in Franklin, Tennessee. It's an extremely strong ecosystem as far as buying and selling, and that's a good thing, because as a buyer you will eventually become a seller. So you want to buy in a place that's super competitive and super solid, and that is Franklin, Tennessee. About 85,000 people live in the city of Franklin, Tennessee. Time after time, Franklin's listed as the best place to live in the South. Again, darling downtown, great community, and public schools are highly rated. Niche believes that the median home value is $646,000. I have no idea where Niche got that statistic, and I can tell you as a real estate agent constantly every single day being in Franklin showing homes that is really low. However, what I love about Franklin real estate is there's a lot of different housing choices at a lot of different price points. Coming in the number 2 slot, best neighborhood or suburb to live in the Nashville, Tennessee area is Brentwood. Not surprised by this at all. We love selling Brentwood. Niche gives Brentwood an A+ grade, an A+ for public schools, an A+ for families, and a B+ for housing. And I think it's just primarily because in Brentwood, it is just more expensive real estate. As you can see here on the map, Brentwood is just south of Nashville, got a dynamite location right in the middle of Franklin and Nashville. Part of Brentwood is west of 65 and part of Brentwood is on the east side. But no matter where you live in Brentwood, it has great highway access. Brentwood has a population of about 45,000 and the median home value is $926,000. $6,000. We relocate a ton of people to the Brentwood area, and I think often when they come to town, it's always like flipping a coin of going to Brentwood or to Franklin. I would say a lot of it just depends on the school district, and it depends on location. Do you need to be to the airport? If you need to be at the airport a lot, Brentwood is probably your more likely choice, or higher up on the belt, because it's closer to the airport. But I think it's always a battle of Brentwood, Franklin, and it often depends on where the best houses are when you are looking. Both communities are absolutely fantastic. And finally, coming in as the #1 suburb to live in the Nashville, Tennessee area is Nolensville. Nolensville is a small town growing really fast. As you can see on the map, it's south and east of Nashville. About 15,000 people live in Nolensville right now. Niche gives Nolensville an A+ overall grade. A+ for schools, housing, and families. In Nolensville, the median home value is around $695,000. It should note that Nolensville is growing up quickly. There's not a lot of shopping or big box stores right now in Nolensville. That's rapidly changing. I think if you live in the Nolensville area, most people are just heading west and going to Franklin, Tennessee, or going north to go to Nashville, just because that area is just getting developed. Again, it's a small town growing really fast. I would say that we have seen some of the top cities jockey for top positions time and time again over the years here in the Nashville, Tennessee area. So I think if you stick with the top, I would say 7 to 8, you're going to be fine living here in Nashville, Tennessee. It's really going to be depending on timing, when you're moving to town, and ultimately your budget. Every single day, our team has the pleasure of taking buyers out and showing homes in all of these communities. I would say if you're considering a move to Nashville, Tennessee, let's just hop on a phone call. Best way to get a hold of me is just text, and we'll get on a phone call just to talk about your needs, your desires, your wishes, and what your family is desiring in this big move. Or hop on our website. It gives you a lot of information about the different areas of town to help further drill down where you want to live in Nashville, Tennessee. Of course, when you get to town, we'd love the opportunity to take you into these different neighborhoods to answer any questions and ultimately find your own perfect address here in Nashville, Tennessee. Thank you so much for watching, and I look forward to seeing you next week.